today's video, we're going to be talking about sequence and action and what that actually looks like. So let's start with our warm-up. Our warm-up question says, what comes before? So I want you to look at the patterns here and here, and I want you to tell me, what do you think comes before this pattern right here? So take a brief second, draw it out, and see what you get. So for this problem, you should have seen that beforehand. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. The reason I know it's 4 circles is because I know the difference between this term right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circles. And I know that there's 2 more added. So 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I know those 2 terms are being added. If I was going to work backwards and move in the direction to the left, like beforehand, I could see that these 2 circles are not here. So I know that every time I'm losing another 2 circles. So that means for this term right here, we're actually going to have 5 circles, sorry. We're going to have 5 circles. Obviously, if your circles aren't perfect, that's completely fine. But beforehand, we're going to have 5 circles because before we had those 2 and those 2 circles. Now the real question is, what comes before that term right here? What comes before my blue term here? So take a second, what do you think the next one's going to be, and draw it out. So now that you've taken a few seconds, if we're constantly taking away 2 each time, so this is 9, this is 7, this is 5, if I'm taking away 2 each time, 5 minus 2 is actually going to give me 3 circles. So I have 1, 2, 3 circles. And if I really wanted to figure out the term before that, what I could do then is I can subtract 2 more circles from it. So in this case, this is 3 minus 2, which would leave me with 1 circle. So that's the kind of pattern that we can see here. We can definitely, in a sequence, move backwards and forwards. Sometimes you'll be asked to figure out what the term comes beforehand or what comes after it. So let's move on to the lesson. So we're going to watch this video real quick, and I want you to watch what's going on. Is the pattern increasing, decreasing? Is it changing? Is it changing only in certain areas? Is it only changing at certain times? Okay, I want you to jot down any questions that you have down or what you've noticed. So let's watch. So here's the video, and we're going to watch very carefully. Okay, I'm going to show it to you one more time so you can see what's going on for any questions that you have. Alright, so what did you notice during the video? What are some questions that you had? Well, hopefully those questions can get clarified, and all of your things that you notice are very valid. So here's some helpful information. Each of these cubes right here, it's actually 1 cubic unit. So this is 1 green cube, this is 1 red cube, 1 red cube, 1 green, 1 green, 1 red, 1 red, 1 green. Okay, so at 2 seconds, this is what I see. Well, now the real question is, I can't really tell how many blue blocks there are without drawing it out. So we're going to break it down. Here's where our 2 second mark is. I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 blues. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 reds and 4 greens. And as I move to 3 seconds, what's increasing, staying the same, or changing? Okay, how about for 4 seconds? I'll give you about a few seconds to see what the pattern's going to be and how we can see what officially it's changing by. Is it changing by second? Is it changing constantly? So take about a few seconds, pause the video, and see what you notice between all 3 of these differences. So now that you have paused the video, we're actually going to look at and create a table. So here's my table. We're going to fill it out by color. So at 2 seconds, how many blue blocks did I have? Well, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. So where it says blue box, I'm going to put 4. For my green boxes, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 in each corner. And for red, I had 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. So at 2 seconds, I had a total of 4 of each block. Let's look at 3 seconds. So at 3 seconds, here's my original 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. I actually gained 1 more blue block. So I'm going to put a 5 where my blue blocks are. And for my green, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 green blocks. But for red, look, here's my original 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I gained another 4 blocks. So now I have a total of 8 blocks of red. So now I have 5, 4, and 8. As you can see, the blue blocks increased by 1 so far. The green did not increase, and the red blocks increased by 4. Let's look at 4 seconds and compare and get a better idea of how this is increasing. So let's count them again. So I want you to take a second, fill out your blue, green, and red blocks for 4 seconds. Now that you've done so, your answer for blue block should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your green blocks increased actually by another 4. Whoops. So now I have 8 blocks for green. And our red 8 blocks stayed the same. They did not increase by 4. They stayed at 8. So now you can kind of see that the blue blocks are increasing by 1 each time. So I can predict for 5 seconds there will be 7 blue blocks. Okay, so my green blocks, they didn't increase yet for the first second, but by the 4th second it increased by 4. As you can see, there's a pattern here. Every 2 seconds, this is increasing. My green blocks are increasing by 4. So since I'm at 5 seconds, I'm still going to have 8 blocks. So this pattern is 0, 4, 0, 4, 0, 4. Or if I was counting by 2 seconds, it would be increasing by 4. So for my 8 blocks, from 2 to 3 is increasing by 4. But then 3 to 4 is 0. So I have the opposite problem here. The red blocks are increasing by 4 and then 0, and then 4 and then 0. So 8 plus 4 is going to give me 12. So that would be for the 5 seconds. So we could say every odd second we're increasing our red blocks, every even second we're increasing our green blocks, and every second we are increasing our blue box. And then every second. Alright, so let's see what our answer is. Let's look at the answer video. Alright, so if we worked backwards, we would see at 0 seconds we have 2 blue blocks. So off to the side here, where I'm circling where these blue, red, and green blocks are, this is how much it's increasing by. And in the gray box, it says how many total boxes there are. So let's watch the video. So as you can see, our pattern was right. It's increasing the red blocks every odd second, the green blocks every even second, and the blue blocks every second. So as you can see, it's just getting larger and larger all the way until it hits 40 or 50 seconds, I think it is. And that's it. So now it's going to continue to increase a whole minute. So as you can see, it increased several times. If you wanted to rewatch the video, feel free to. It's in our PowerPoint for you. You can just click video and it should open. So now let's look at a different situation here. We're going to look at some Domino Skyscrapers. So while you're watching the video, think about how it's increasing each time and what's changing about it.
So what I have here is a chain of dominoes. Each one is 1.5 times larger than the previous one. And the smallest domino is about 5 millimeters high and 1 millimeter thick. And I will carefully place it.
Alright, now that we watched this guy's video, we're going to create a table about the dominoes. So here's my table. Do you remember what the man said each domino is increasing by? 1.5 times. So that means every time my domino increases, the height is getting 1.5 times larger. So what we're going to do for each of these is we're going to take the previous number and multiply by multiply by 1.5. And we're going to figure out how big this is going to get. So let's figure out the first one here. So the height of the second domino should be 7.5. Then what I'm going to continue to do is multiply those by 1.5. So what I want you to do is I want you to fill out all the way to 5 how high each of those are, and then I'm going to show you how to figure out by 29. So as you calculate 3, 4, and 5, we are going to have a part 2 for this video.